Welcome back to FM Storey. We're halfway past our third season of the Save. We've managed to pick out our first trophy in the Scottish League Cup. We're approaching the end of January, so we've got a couple of days left in the transfer window. We've got a bit of money that we can spend, and we've got a few players attracting interest, so we may have some busy days in the transfer window like we did at the end of last January when we sold Lennon Miller to Chelsea. As far as the league's concerned, we're currently sat in fourth position. We're doing pretty well. Obviously, the first aim for the season is to make sure we finish in that top six and then try and qualify for a European spot. We do have a particularly tough run of games coming up in February. As I said, we are fourth on the table. The three teams that are above us are Aberdeen, Rangers and Celtic. We've got to play Aberdeen, we've got to play Rangers, we've got to play Celtic twice between the 7th of February and the 22nd of February. So it's a particularly tough run of games. Hopefully we can continue the recent run of form that we've shown and pick up points there. And like I say, the main aim is to finish in the top six so that we can qualify, have a chance of qualifying for Europe. Without further ado, let's get into the action. We've made it to the final game of that big run of matches that we had, and things largely have gone pretty well. But we'll come to that in a second. Obviously, we did say it was transfer deadline day, and there was some interest in some of our players. The only player that was any real interest in was Alan Abando, who has a release clause for about 9 million. There was interest from Liverpool and Arsenal. But no offers came forward on deadline day. We did try to sign a couple of different goalkeepers just to see if we could improve on Liam Kelly in that position. But in the end, we couldn't do any of those deals. But what we did do is we have brought in Jorrel Hato on loan from Ajax. Just gives us a bit more quality in centre of defence. Can play at left back as well, because we don't really have any cover for Velasquez, so just strengthens the squad a bit there. And we have done 2 deals for next season already. We signed Lewis Binks on a pre-contract. He is actually Scottish, and we've got him coming off the end of his contract at Bologna, just because we've got Quansah and we've got Maturo on loan and Hato on loan, but we don't have many centre-halves under contract for next season, and he only wanted to be a squad player as well. He didn't want to be a first-team player, so just adds a bit of depth there. And then also to add some depth to the centre-half position, we've agreed a deal for a 17-year-old Brazilian, Vivinho. Looks really promising. I mean, 15 tackling, 14 heading, 15 jumping reach. Brave, good determination, good teamwork. So hopefully he can develop into a top player. And we've managed to get him and managed to get a work permit for him as well. So he'll be in and around the first team squad next season. As far as the games since the end of the last episode, so we started with a trip to Dunfermline, who we've struggled against this season. We've always seemed to do pretty bad in the first half. The exception was this game. We got off to a great start with a penalty, doubled the lead on 17 minutes. They pulled a goal back right on half time, but we were too good in the second half and came with 4-1 victors. We then were at home to Aberdeen, who are a position above us in the league, and put in a really professional performance, came away with a 2-0 victory, and closed the gap on them. And then we did have a game in hand on most of the teams, apart from Celtic in the league. That game in hand was the midweek game at home to Celtic, and we weren't particularly very good. We went behind midway through the first half, equalised midway through the second half, and once we equalised, no one looked like going on to to win the game. We then had a really comfortable victory in the Scottish Cup 5th round, 4-0 away at Greenock Morton, which saw us drawn against Falkirk in the quarter-final. Now, the board expectation was to meet the quarter-final. We've not yet, that'll be the third game we play in the competition, we've not yet played anyone in the same division as us. So hopefully that'll see us through to the semi-final. But then we followed the Greenock Morton game with another league game against Celtic, this time away. Very, very similar pattern to the first game, because it was the same goal scorer for them, and there was only 1 minute difference when they opened the scoring. Odenholm opening the scoring for them on the half hour. We were terrible in the first half. We were a bit better in the second half once we made some substitutions, and we created a few chances. A Duque popping up with the equaliser after a great run by Alan Abondo. But unlike the first game, the first 1-1, the one at home, where no one really created anything after the equaliser, they piled the pressure on in the last few minutes, and we somehow swung on, despite Neymar through this game, and then put together some wins and pick up some points and go towards securing that qualification for European football. So this is the side we've picked for the Rangers game. Obviously it's a home game. Hopefully we can put in a strong performance against our in front of our home fans. We've made 3 changes to the team that started the game against Celtic. Gazetieri's come back from being ill to play the defensive midfield role. We've got Babadi moving from wide right into the central midfield. Romeo moving from that defensive midfield role into the central midfield. We've brought a Duque in instead of Tyson, and then Abando's come into the starting lineup and O's dropped to the bench. And hopefully we can trouble them. Hopefully with the home advantage we can get at them quickly as well. Obviously we're going 4-3-3. They're sticking with that 4-4-2 that they've played most of the save. Gazer bringing the ball forward. Babadi back to Gazer, gives the ball away, and now they're breaking with Ahmad. Danilo, Kato gets the tackling, but it comes to Ahmad. Danilo's now in the box, and we've basically gifted them a 1-goal start there. Give the ball in our own half. We make a tackle here, and then no one reacts, and no one follows Danilo, and he's in the box, and he just fires it across the keeper and in the far corner. Not great. Back heel, Babadi on the edge of the box, fires it into the bottom corner, and we've got ourselves level. Well played down the right hand side. Hill makes the run after passing it to Chidera, then finds Babadi on the edge of the box and just arrows that shot across the keep into the bottom corner. We've won it back again. Babadi driving forward, trying to play it in for Chidera, but it comes back to Pansar. Hill, Chidera into Babadi in the box, and we've got the lead right before half time. Babadi's been outstanding so far in this first half. He's been involved in everything we've done going forward. Hill to Chidera, turns, just plays it into the near post there, and Babadi just flicks it across the keeper. And we've taken the lead right on half time. Right, so we made 2 changes at half time. We've brought Maturo on for Velasquez because he'd picked up a knock, and we've brought on Torben Ryan for Romeo because he hadn't done anything really in the first half. Ryan immediately involved with the ball through to Abando. Abando's shot blocked by the keeper. Babadi scores, gets his hat-trick, and we've taken the lead in 20 seconds of the second half. Bermudez plays it back to Ryan, his first involvement, plays it forward for Abando, who tries to shoot or square it, hits Butland's foot, comes out to Babadi, and we're 3-1 up. And that's full time. What a comeback, what a performance. I mean, you can't look at those match stats and say that we did not deserve to win this game. Absolutely outstanding. Puts us up to third, and I think to within 5 points of Celtic, 6 points of Rangers. So hopefully, now that we've got all the games out of the way before the split against the teams that are sort of around us, hopefully we can pick up some more points and start pushing ourselves forward in the league. So it's time for the Cup quarter final, home to Falkirk. We've played 2 games since the Rangers game, and we've not played particularly well in either of them. We went 1-0 down in both of them. The first game against Dundee, we were able to come back strong in the second half, and we ended up winning 4-1. St Johnstone game, we had loads of chances, couldn't take them. Eventually we got an equaliser and it ended 1-1. What it does mean is the top of the league table is pretty tight. We've got the top 4 separated by 5 points with 9 games left to go. And the team in 5th are only 6 points further back as well. So things are going pretty well, but also as far as the league's concerned, but also it is pretty tight, and just a couple of games could turn everyone's season. But hopefully we win this game. We're into the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. We've already won the League Cup this season, so hopefully we can do something. We're going in with pretty much the same team that started the game against the Rangers. Looking at their form, they're not in the best of form. They're going 4-2-3-1 against our 4-3-3. So hopefully we can take advantage of the home form, take advantage of being a team from a lower division, and hopefully a bit more comfortable than the last couple of games have been. There's very little happening in this first half. Neither side really creating any chances. We've had the lion's share of possession, but just done nothing with it. Right, throwing for us, Hill to take it. Bermudez is bundled over on the edge of the area. It's been given as a penalty. I don't know who our penalty taker is going to be. Stepping up is Isaac Babadi. Fires it into the corner, puts us 1-0 up, and continues his great run of form that he's been on recently. Keeper didn't really move. Right in the corner, it was, even if he'd gone the right way, he wasn't saving it. Right, goal kick for them. They've gone long. Hill comes forward and meets it with the head. Chidera tries to play it in behind for Obando. Aiton ball up. Bermudez into Obando. Velasquez tries to play it inside to Bermudez. They've eventually cleared it, and they've got the loose ball, and now they're attacking and they're committing men forward here. It's 4-on-2 somehow at the back here. Yeah. We just didn't react. We had four or 5 players around that ball. No one chased back any of the runners. It was 3-on-1 in the box, and the header was just too much for the keeper to keep out. Now they've got a corner, and somehow it stayed out. They hit the post, and then we've scrambled it away. Half time, and we've thrown away that lead. And basically, since we scored, we've gone to sleep, and they've been the ones pushing. Right, throw in, Hill to take. Goes to the long one, comes back to him. Is it into edge of the box? Pansar Hill from distance, and that's just a waste. Although it's been deflected and it's gone behind for a corner, by the looks of it, it didn't look like it. Baddy to take. Goes short. Obando's cross. Pansar at the back post, hits the post, and they've scrambled it away for a throw. Hill to take the throw, long. They managed to clear it, and Hill goes back and collects it. Pansar goes back to Liam Kelly. halfway inside our half, which scares me. Hato to Maturo. Plays it down the line for Bermudez. He pokes it back to the edge of the area to Babadi, and it ripples the top of the net. He started to come. Right, Maturo to take a corner, in swinger. They've headed it in the air. Comes out to Chidera, drives to the byline, tries to square it. There's a scramble. Obando turns it home, and I'm not sure we deserve to be 2-1 up, but we'll take it. We've been very wasteful, we've been very poor, but we are in front. It was a proper scramble. Clearance hit the wrong player. The poor cross to begin with. Right, we've brought some fresh legs on to see if we can get any better. Right, Kelly takes the goal kick to Maturo on the left. He goes down the line to Chidera, who switched to the left, who gives the ball away. And now they're breaking. They've still got the ball. They've gone long. Hill wins the header. Stevanovic picks up the loose ball. Back to Hill. Fansar plays it into space for Agume. Looks for a bando, but it goes straight through to their player. And now they're back on the attack. Maturo picks that one out. Chidera down the left hand side. Pulls it back into Maturo on the edge of the box. What a finish. And hopefully that should be enough now to see us into the semi-final. A 2-goal gap. Not even we can give the ball away enough in our own half to let them back into this. Maturo takes a touch and then just smashes it from the edge of the box into the bottom corner. And that's a great first goal for him. Right, Maturo with a free kick, just as we thought the game was petering out. I mean, they might push on to some area to pick them off and counter attack, but they are sitting pretty deep here. Here's Torben Ryan back to Hato, cross to Quansar. He moves it further right to Hill in space on his right hand side, down the line to Stevanovic. He puts inside, clears the ball into Agume, and then they've won it back. But Maturo cuts that one out. Hato to Maturo, into Chidera in the box, squares it, Bando scores, and that's 4-1, and we're definitely through to the semi-final here. We've not played well, but we've done the job. I suppose it helps when you don't play a team from the same division in the first 3 rounds during the cup. Chidera just squares it, Bando first time, beats the keeper, and that's 4-1. And it looks like Celtic are going through comfortably in the other quarterfinals being played today. Could do with a Celtic Rangers semi-final, I think. Right, Hill with a long throw. Game towards Hato, comes down to Quansar. His cross, Agume hits the bar, and they scramble it behind for the corner. And this will probably be the last action of the game. Torben Ryan across to take it. Swings it in. They've headed clear. Comes back to Ryan into Chidera in the box. And the keeper turns it behind for a corner from the other side. Ryan to take that one. Swings it in. Hill nods it back to Abando. Chidera on the edge of the box. Hill. And that's full time. And in the end, it looks comfortable, but we were far from our best in that game. And we need to be much better for the rest of these league games this season, and then obviously the semi-final against whoever we get. We've made it to the end of April, and we've played a couple of games since the Cup final, and things haven't gone particularly well, but you can see from the league table, we're obviously still in 4th position. We're 6 points clear of the team in 5th. But we are 4 points behind Rangers, with 5 points behind Aberdeen and 6 points behind Celtic. There are still 7 games left this season, so it's very much anyone's title. I would hope that we've got a pretty good chance of at least finishing in that top 4, and then obviously as far as things, the European positions are concerned, it'll depend on how things go in the Scottish Cup. Since the qualifying, we played Livingston at home, got off to a pretty decent start, won the game pretty comfortably, and then we went away to St Mirren and were basically dreadful. We were 3-0 down after 26 minutes. We had chances in the second half. Eventually we took one, but we didn't do enough to get back in the game. And we're not in a... That's not the best way to end up before an international break. There are 2 games left before the split. We've got a home game against Hearts and an away game against Hibs. So hopefully we can get back on form for then. The Scottish Cup, we've been drawn against Rangers in the semi-final, and the other semi-final is Aberdeen Celtic. So all of the top 4 have made it into the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup. So as long as we finish in the top 4, we shouldn't find ourselves missing out on a European spot. So that's now really, obviously we've got the semi-final to take care of, but realistically the aim for the rest of the season is make sure we stay in that top 4, make sure we finish in that top 4, make sure we qualify for Europe again, and then hopefully we can continue developing the club. And there we are, the end of another episode. We're rapidly approaching the end of season 3. Things have gone pretty well so far in this season. I mean, we've obviously won the Scottish League Cup, we're in the Scottish Cup semi-final, we're in the top 4. We just need to put out the silly results like the one against St Mirren. Obviously, join us next time to see the end of the season, see if we can make it to the Scottish Cup final, maybe even win that as well. But really the main aim, as we said, is to make sure we finish in that top 4, qualify for Europe next season. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.